This app will turn your Series X into a 360. Microsoft's next acquisition will change gaming forever. Here's what you have to look forward to on Game Pass this month. Microsoft is given an ultimatum. What does it mean for Xbox? Let's discuss. What's up, guys, and welcome to Xbox Ready, the channel that works constantly to make sure that you are up to date on all things Xbox. Make sure you follow me on Twitter and Instagram. I'm at State of Ray. I also have a new anime channel, Ray Nami, and I'd really appreciate it if you checked it out. Here's a quick Xbox tip that can save you a lot of money. I feel like this is a feature that doesn't get talked about a lot. I'm talking about the ability to buy one digital copy of a game and play it on two Xboxes, even at the same time if you so choose. Now, in order to do this, you gotta make sure one of your Xboxes is set as your home Xbox. For example, I have a Series X at my desk that I use. That's my main gaming console. I also have a Series S in my bedroom that my wife mostly uses to play Disney Dreamlight Valley. So what I did was I took my account, Lord Janitor, and I signed into that profile on the Series S. I then set that console as my home Xbox console. And that gives my wife access to all the benefits associated with my Lord Janitor account, Xbox Live Gold, Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. But it also gives her access to all of my digital games. Now that Hogwarts Legacy is out, I was able to download it on my Series X through my profile. I'm the only one that uses that console, so that's what I did. Once that was done downloading, I signed back into the Series S in my bedroom on my profile, downloaded the game, and then signed out. And now my wife, again, she has access to Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, but she also now has access to Hogwarts Legacy. She can play it without being on my profile. And although Hogwarts Legacy is not multiplayer, we can play it at the same time if we wanted to. But if you do have a multiplayer game that you want to share with someone else in your household, say like Call of Duty, Minecraft Legends is coming up, and maybe the new Forza Motorsport whenever that comes out. Maybe you want to run duos in Redfall. This trick also works for those types of games as well and allows you to play together. And this is something that you can only do on the Xbox platform. If you had two PlayStation 5s in your house, for example, you would need to buy two copies of Hogwarts Legacy or literally any other game in order to achieve the same effect. As far as I know, this only works for up to a maximum of two Xbox consoles. That's perfect for me, but if you're at home and you have multiple kids with multiple Xboxes, this could be a problem. Now, we all know that Xbox does a pretty decent job when it comes to backwards compatibility. While PlayStation was out there struggling to bring PS3 titles to the PS5, Xbox was doing the Lord's work. They were doing some pretty decent work in making Xbox and Xbox 360 games playable on the Xbox Series X and S consoles. Their efforts, however, ended in November 2021 where they announced, hey, this is the last batch of games that we're going to make backwards compatible on the Series consoles. Dang, I can't believe that was almost 2 years ago at this point. But for those who are hungry for more 360 titles on their Xbox Series X or S, there is a new emulator on the block that could help you achieve that goal. The Xenia emulator, which is in its early stages right now, could provide you access to over 2,000 Xbox 360 games on your Series X or S. This emulator is from the same guys that brought the Dolphin emulator to Xbox consoles. That's an emulator that we talked about last week that allows you to play GameCube games and other like Wii titles on your Xbox. It's a crazy world we live in. Sometimes modern gaming is kind of whack with like all of these like online requirements, like you gotta make an account to play all these different games even if you don't want to. But stuff like this makes me think, oh, okay, that's like kind of cool, like playing Nintendo games on Xbox, playing like old like PlayStation games on your Xbox. According to Windows Central, while the compatibility list is limited right now, it could eventually allow you to play a far larger library of Xbox 360 games on your Xbox One or Xbox Series X and S console, far bigger than the official list of backwards compatible Xbox 360 games that are available now. I kind of have mixed feelings about this. On one end, we know that eventually the Xbox 360 servers and marketplace are going to shut down. It's going to happen eventually. It happens to all of these old game servers. But if they continue to build up this emulator, it could preserve a lot of titles that you can't currently play on modern consoles. On the other end, I feel like pretty much any 360 game that is worth making backwards compatible on your Xbox Series consoles, they've already done. There's also a scenario where Microsoft sees this thing and they're like, okay, we're gonna shut this down. Because I'm sure they much rather prefer you to buy 360 games through their official marketplace versus emulating them through a third party. Not to mention all the security risks of downloading, like, you know how emulation goes. You download it sometimes from like super shady looking websites, sometimes they're cool, sometimes it's like they give you crazy pop-ups. If you're interested in trying out this emulator for yourself, make sure you can take a note from this article by Windows Central. They say head over to Xenia's GitHub and be sure to read the FAQ. The project is a work in progress, and as always with apps and services like this, check your local laws with regard to version shifting content you may already own in a different format. This video is sponsored by Raycon. I'm so excited that Raycon reached out to me to help me out with this video. I've been waiting for their call. Raycon teaming up with Ray from Xbox Ready. It's a match made in heaven. Raycon earbuds are perfect for anyone who's looking for high quality audio for a reasonable price. Raycon earbuds start at just half the price of what these other earbud companies are trying to charge you. These everyday earbuds also have a pretty nice microphone built into them as well, so they're perfect for Zoom calls or any phone calls that you may have. With the custom gel tip, these earbuds are literally the perfect fit for anything I do. They're water and sweat resistant, so I don't have to worry about them when I use them to work out. And with 8 hours of battery life, I never have to worry about them when I'm on the go. I've been playing a lot of Vampire Survivors on Xbox Cloud Gaming using my phone, and these earbuds are the perfect companion to make sure I'm locked in the game. When you're ready to upgrade your audio game, click the link down in the description below, or go on over to buyraycon.com/xboxready to get 15% off of your Raycon purchase. Thanks again to Raycon for sponsoring this video, and remember, if you buy Raycon earbuds through the links provided, you're helping to support the channel. So earlier this week, I was like, what's Microsoft up to? Because it seems like they're calling a bunch of like tech influencers and like people who cover like tech products and Microsoft stuff. They're all congregating in this one place. What's going on? And what ended up happening was that Microsoft revealed this new like AI tech that they've sort of been working on, but they're about to buy out. That is essentially like this AI chatbot that you can have a conversation with. Satya Nadella opened up the presentation with this story about how in his native country of India, he was talking about this guy who was trying to apply for this grant, for this government program that he thought he was qualified for, but he wasn't tech savvy enough to do it on his own. So he asked this like chat AI bot to help him out, and it did it for him. Now, I don't know all the specifics about like the coding going on and like what all goes into making something like this. Essentially, from my understanding, is that they're buying the technology, and the first thing that they're gonna do with it is make a really fancy version of Bing that you can talk to and be like, hey Bing, make me a 3-course menu that I can cook tonight. Okay, blah, 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 here you go. Some of the prompts that they're giving examples of when you go to like the trial version of this new Bing are pretty crazy. They go way beyond the scope of like a normal virtual assistant. One of the examples they give is like, hey Bing, make me a workout that targets my arms and chest, no abs, that I can do in 30 minutes. In theory, it'll be like, okay, let me see what I can do. How does this work for you? And you say, no, I don't think I can do that. And then it goes back to the drawing board and it's like, okay, what about this? So as of right now, again, it is just gonna be like this fancy version of Bing that you can interact with, which is pretty crazy. There's so many different possibilities for this, and there's a good chance that in 6 months' time, it's gonna look way different than it is now. For Xbox fans, I think the obvious trajectory is that this new fancy Bing that you can chat to will make your way over to Xbox consoles. They did something similar where they were like, hey, let's bring the desktop version of Microsoft Edge to Xbox consoles, and you can plug in your freaking mouse and keyboard to your Xbox and use it as a PC almost. So I don't see why they wouldn't integrate this Bing chat AI functionality into Xbox consoles further down the line. But guys, we gotta open up our minds to the possibilities here, man. What if they took this tech and started integrating it into their games? Like, picture this, you're playing the next Elder Scrolls in like a billion years whenever it comes out. And instead of telling your follower, your companion, hey, hold all this stuff because I need to free up some inventory space, have a conversation with them and you say, hey, take this stuff, go to the blacksmith, freaking upgrade this stuff, deconstruct this stuff, and then bring it back to me. And they're like, okay, well, what if I'm in town and like I see someone there that has a quest that you gotta turn in? Can I do that too? And you're like, yeah, do that. That's just where my mind goes to as an RPG nerd. I'm sure that, that's a little bit further down the line. I'm sure there are more simple kind of functions gaming-wise that could be implemented before that. But it wouldn't be the first time that Microsoft developed pretty interesting tech and then brought it to their gaming division for Xbox fans. For example, like when they were working on some like pretty fancy like laser mapping, facial recognition technology that can scan your room and like learn the dimensions of your room and stuff. And then we got the Xbox Kinect. I miss the Kinect. I have fond memories of that. It was short-lived. And it doesn't really have like such a super enduring legacy, but man, Great times. So Microsoft, their big day kind of got spoiled because Google 24 hours before this unveiled like their own version of what Microsoft was unveiling. But again, the possibilities for Xbox fans, very exciting. Can't wait to see what they do with it. So guys, we have a clearer idea of what is coming to Game Pass in the month of February, what you have to look forward to. Then guys, it is just like leagues, miles better than what we had to look forward to at this point last year. The big marquee addition is obviously Atomic Heart. They recently showed off a pretty in-depth gameplay trailer for that title, and I gotta say, it looks pretty cool. Atomic Heart is set to debut day one on Game Pass on February 21st. Other games that you can look forward to include Madden NFL 2023, Gundam Battle Alliance, Mountain Blade 2 Bannerlord, Cities Skylines Remastered, and Shadow Warrior 3 Definitive Edition. Now guys, this month already is just a huge W. I mean, I'm sure Atomic Heart will be fun, but the fact that Mountain Blade 2 Bannerlord is coming to freaking Xbox, I know it's on Xbox consoles right now, but it's coming to Game Pass, that's crazy to me. I haven't gotten around to playing this game, but I played the absolute crap out of the first Mountain Blade that came to Xbox consoles, Mountain Blade Warband. I picked it up for like $5 in the fall of 2017, I want to say, and I sunk hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours into it. I wanted to get on the second one, but at the time it was only available on PC, and I did not have a good enough PC in order to run that game. So I was like, you know what, I'll hold off, but now my patience has been rewarded because it's coming to Game Pass. It's just being delivered to me on a freaking silver platter. For those of you who were really into Age of Empires when it came last month to Game Pass, the Mountain Blade series, it's like Age of Empires plus Chivalry 2 for anyone who's been playing that on Game Pass as well, because you can command your armies whenever you battle someone, like, okay, I want my archers to chill out here on this hill. They have a great tactical advantage. I want my heavy cavalry to be on standby. But you can also be on the battlefield yourself, fighting people. It's similar to Chivalry 2 where you have to like time your parries, and you can thrust, and you can slash and stab and like overhead swipe, depending on what fits your needs in that specific moment. There's also like a ton of RPG elements as well, like marrying someone in order to like form a strong political alliance, like you want to get into their good favors and like they help you out. This is a huge W for me. I'm a huge like fantasy, swords and sorcery nerd. I love medieval style games. All right, moving on, it is time for your regularly scheduled Activision Blizzard acquisition update. Last time I updated you on this, the Commission for the European Union, who's reviewing this deal, they came out and officially opposed this deal, and it was expected that the CMA, the regulatory body from the United Kingdom, was going to follow suit. Well guys, they did exactly that, and they had some pretty interesting things to say about the subject. One of the things that was said that has Xbox gamers particularly irritated was that if they approve this deal and Microsoft buys Activision Blizzard, they will have a dominant presence in the cloud gaming space, which would eventually lead to higher prices in consoles. Now, as Xbox fans and fans of video games in general, you know that that's like the antithesis of cloud gaming. Like with the rise of cloud gaming, there will be less need to buy consoles. So yeah, Xbox fans had a field day on Twitter dunking on that statement. The CMA also came out and said, yeah, we'd be open to like some concessions, but the concessions seem a little extreme. They said, yeah, we'd be happy to approve this deal if Microsoft pinky swore to sell Activision when they actually buy it. Or if they don't want to sell Activision, if they make the acquisition, they could sell off Call of Duty to someone else. Which obviously, like, that's not very appealing to Xbox or Microsoft. And I think the third option when I was reading was that, or we could just block this deal and that would be cool with us. Microsoft has responded to this already. They said, we are committed to offering effective and easily enforceable solutions that address the CMA's concerns. Our commitment to grant long-term 100% equal access to Call of Duty to Sony, Nintendo, Steam, and others preserves the deal's benefits to gamers and developers and increases the competition in the market. 75% of respondents to the CMA's public consultation agreed that this deal is good for competition in UK gaming. For those of you who do not know, the CMA literally put out a thing on Twitter, a form. It was like a feedback form. They said, hey, we want to get your thoughts, our constituents' thoughts on this whole situation. I feel like it was a bizarre thing at the time, but I guess the responses from their constituents were overwhelmingly in favor of this deal being approved. Activision also came out with a statement, and they appear to be remaining confident that this deal will go through, but obviously this is not something that Microsoft would have wanted. They gotta go a perfect 3 for 3. If one of them backs out, it's gonna be a huge problem. But experts and other news outlets maintain that this is a normal part of the process. Now that the CMA has written their concerns in writing, Microsoft can respond and offer some concessions to hopefully change their mind. One thing I think we can all agree on is that this just blew up. Like truly, a year ago when Microsoft announced this acquisition, I was just like, oh cool, it would be cool to have Diablo on Game Pass, and it's turned into like all this console warring, political intrigue. It's gotten crazy. Anyways guys, that's all the news I have for today. Thanks so much for joining for another edition of Xbox Ready. Make sure you follow me on Twitter and Instagram at State of Ray. I also have a new anime channel, Ray Nami, and I'd really appreciate it if you checked it out.